Trump next time.
Who thought Tenacious D would fire the first shot as far as commenting about this? Hi people and hello my Chili Con Carnage crew, it's Chili here for a special episode in regards to Tenacious D and the events that have transpired in the last week. This is in regards to, I guess, everything that has happened from what Tenacious D said on stage to the fallout of the statement in regards to various Australian officials. And some of these people are very famous and I wanted to point out, a few things because, there's a few facts that are interesting amongst the mix. And of course, my views and opinions on what will be happening moving forward. And I will try to be as unbiased as I can in regards to the commentary, but, well, everything's always got a bias to it, doesn't it? Also, this video does have more bad puns. Let's roll the intro. Before we get started, a quick history lesson on Tenacious D. Before Jack Black became a famous movie star in movies like Anchorman and School of Rock, Tropic Thunder, or even Jumanji, he made up one half of the comedy rock band Tenacious D, a duo made up of Kyle Gass and Jack Black. And this duo formed in 1994. They would go down and perform mock rock shows around LA for a few years until eventually they would release their first album, a self-titled record in 2001. Tenacious D had a massive breakthrough and catchy as hell song called Tribute, and everyone I guess remembers this tune. It was also aided by the video clip which starred Dave Grohl as the devil himself. A few years later, in 2006, the band would make their own movie about the origins of the duo. It would even star Ronnie Dio himself, and they also released an album to accompany the film. Although the movie failed at the box office, the movie is considered a bit of a cult classic, especially amongst the fans. In 2012, they would release their next album, Rise of the Phoenix. I would show you the original artwork for this, but YouTube would demonetize this video so fast, and I need my $1.50 that I'll make from this video to feed myself. So unfortunately, here is the censored version. So you can Google it if you want, if you can be stuffed. But to give you a breakdown, it is a phallic looking bird on the cover. Now this continues their line of jokes, such as with their debut effort and the track Cock Push-Ups. In 2018, Tenacious D released their most recent album, Post-Apocalypto, and this is a concept record about surviving in a post-apocalyptic Mad Max semi-dystopian kind of world. And this album was made prior to COVID, but during a certain president's term in office. And this is very interesting timing for the concept of the record if you want to read into it and put on, a tinfoil hat. But now we fast forward to about a week ago, and Trump was nearly taken out during one of his speeches. Everyone has seen the footage, and this left both sides of the world glued to their TVs for any update on such circumstances. Meanwhile, halfway around the world in Sydney, Tenacious D would be taking the stage on the night of Kyle Gass's birthday, and hours after one of the biggest news stories circulated the world. Now, when it came time to make a birthday wish, the comedian stated the following: "Don't miss Trump next time." Clearly, this is a joke, and anyone who says otherwise doesn't understand who Tenacious D actually are, a comedy rock band that have been around for nearly 30 years. And yes, making a joke like this really did miss the mark. However, it left a few Aussies who are in places of power making certain comments in regards to what Tenacious D had to say. And it has been a really odd 7 days looking over this whole debacle. I was originally going to make a short video, but there was just too much to cover, and I needed more time than 60 seconds.
Okay, let's run.
So let's start with breaking down that joke. Now, I've heard people say that this is what a lot of people were thinking at the time, but didn't have the balls to actually say. And it was, of course, made at the wrong time, especially mere hours after the actual event happened. Look, you don't believe me? That's fine. I don't care. It's just what people have said. That's what I've heard. The first thing that we have to note is that what some people perceive as funny, others might not. This is just the basic rule of comedy. Comedy is about trying to make a joke and trying to find a balance. I can't remember who said it, but I recall that the quote about comedy is telling a joke where 2/3 of the room laugh and 1/3 are offended. You have to find your balance at the end of the day, and factors include subject matter, audience, and most importantly, timing. Within the hour of Trump's news, the internet was abuzz with memes about the event, but of course I would expect nothing less from the internet. It has zero chill. Plus, it's easier to make a meme and post it anonymously as opposed to putting your neck out there with your name in front of thousands even. Once Kyle made his joke, it was clear that it was one of those, moments. And suddenly, we had Australian senators calling for the duo to be deported, amongst other things. And radio DJs declaring they would never play their music again on their radio station. And I want to take a moment to address these empty threats made by people living in glass houses. So, let's start with the radio DJ. Kyle Sandilands is one of the biggest radio DJs in Australia at the moment. His radio station is the second highest listened to radio station, and it is listened to by millions of Australians. It plays the top modern pop music, and he interviews all the biggest pop stars all the time. He is also a very vocal supporter of Trump. His call to ban Tenacious is nothing but empty words. His channel seldom plays their music, and they barely advertise them to begin with. So at the end of the day, who really cares if you and your sister companies never play their music again on the radio, because you never played it to begin with? Don't you have to have something and then lose it in order to actually be lost? Now, it must be noted that the duo did appear on the show back in February of this year, so there was this little bit of support. But despite the lifetime ban, now Kyle Sandilands is taking the time on air discussing the band and bringing the infamy to the masses. Now, to any of my American fans out there, Mr. Sandilands is no saint, and his Wikipedia page is predominantly filled by dumb shit he has said too. So the irony is delicious that he calls for a ban to a dumb comment made on stage by these famous musicians, when he has made a career of doing so. Some of Kyle Sandilands' highlights involve stating that Aussie actor Magda Zabowski should go to a concentration camp to lose weight. Please note that the actor I just mentioned is of Polish descent. In 2007, in an interview with Andrew Denton, he stated the next time he saw Dave Hughes, he would punch him in the throat. This was due to the fact that Dave Hughes called Kyle Sandilands a dickhead, and seems like the appropriate response to give to someone who uses words. In 2009, Kyle Sandilands was fired from Channel 10 after a stunt backfired dramatically. And this stunt in particular was the discussion of the sexual history of a teenager live on air and in front of her mother. The teenager was very awkward and uneasy during this whole segment and stated that she was at the age of 12. To which Kyle Sandilands' response was, "Is this the only experience you've had?" This is amongst many other controversies that the Australian DJ has had. To quote his Wikipedia entry, in all, Sandilands has been accused of sexism, whitewashing, homophobia, ableism, bullying, slut-shaming, and general misogynistic comments and actions, broadcasting his often inflammatory comments to millions of listeners under the guise of being a jokester or a shock jock. What I'm trying to say is pot meet kettle, and this kettle came with 20 plus years of experience and a full kit that was passed down from generation to generation. So while you can say that I am making a straw man argument, let it be known that Kyle Sandilands shouldn't throw rocks at glass houses. Now, as for our Australian senator who has weighed in on the issue, Senator Babet, he won his seat in 2022 in the upper house in his state of Victoria, and he is part of the United Australia Party, a party started by one of Australia's richest mining moguls, Clive Palmer. He was also a politician back some 10 years ago. His seat is the only seat won by Clive Palmer's party after Clive spent $100 million at the last election to try and get lots of seats for him and his party. But they only managed to win one seat, and that was Senator Babet's seat. For a frame of reference, the amount that Clive spent on his party is more than both major parties combined during the election process. And in turn, he has become known as Clive Palmer's $100 million man, who is his sole mouthpiece in Parliament.
My master, Sauron the Great, bids thee welcome.
Now, he loves Trump, and of course claims that he lives rent-free in the leftards' heads. He is a massive proponent for free speech and has of course pushed this agenda for many years throughout his campaigns. And just last week, he stated that Tenacious should be deported from Australia after Carl Gass made these comments on stage. This pause was intentional. I'm just letting the irony set in. It sounds like Tenacious are the ones who are doing cock push-ups rent-free in the senator's headspace. Now, the main reason I chose these two people are, for, well, better or for worse, they are both very much against cancel culture, and they are both so angry about these comments that they are themselves cancelling and even trying to deport these people from our country. These comments are beyond the realms of irony. Both of the people I just mentioned are aiming to entice and angered people that, despite their history or stance, they don't seem to stand for what they say. The future of Tenacious is a very precarious situation. Are they going to split? Or will they be cancelled, or are they going to continue on like they always have? To me, cancel culture just never works, and that is for a myriad of reasons. Usually it highlights the person in particular and draws fans and masses to them. It has a counter effect. And then if you do manage to get that person cancelled, are you going to hold them ransom for the rest of their lives for one thing that they said? It's a very precarious time, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who feel uneasy in regards to these scenarios. I for one say that cancel culture doesn't work, and my main reasoning is this. I didn't know Tenacious D were performing in Australia, let alone in Sydney where all of these events happened at a stadium 30 minutes from where I live. And now I know all about this tour that has happened, or at least was going to happen until it was cancelled. So because of cancel culture, it has brought light to them. And it just seems so weird, because we are talking about a comedy band that have cancelled themselves over comments made about Trump. It's a sentence you think would never exist, but here we are. Was the joke bad? Yes, it was. Will there be jokes about this matter in the future? Hell, there were jokes about this 30 minutes after the event happened, and it'll be more common as time passes. It's just unfortunate because we are talking about comedians who are on stage in front of thousands, and if they miss the mark, it's on video and it's uploaded to YouTube for everyone to witness. However, the backlash that has been involved has been just beyond what I ever thought would be possible. From Kyle Sandilands stating that he will never play their music ever again, to of course Senator Babet, who says that he wants to deport the band. Kyle Gass's agent has also dropped him from his roster as of lately. And now Jack Black himself has halted all future concerts and endeavours, but said that it's not the end of the band. Now, despite not being the end, it certainly sounds like they are. In my opinion, Tenacious D will never perform again, and that is very sad news. I don't believe that Kyle Gass will ever see eye to eye with Jack Black ever again, and that's because Jack Black did protect his neck in the only way he could. And it's a bit weird, because at the end of the day, the horse is bolted and you can never get it back in. So I just feel that the band shouldn't have cancelled themselves to appease the masses. They should have just gone on and did their thing, maybe did an apology, and that would be it. But at the end of it, everyone demands blood, and blood is in the water. It's just very unfortunate that Tenacious D, in particular their fans, are the ones who are going to be left in the lurch, because I know there'll be a lot of people out there who are very, very much anticipating this Tenacious D concert. And at the end of the day, it's most ironic for a band that is called Tenacious Defense, that's centered on selling comedic rock values, to be cancelled. Adios, amigos. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content, because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.